Hey everyone, it's Bass and Nez,
Hi.
and today we're talking about limiting beliefs that are causing us to feel anxious, tired, draining our energy, and particularly, let's start with self neglect instead of self care and how that impacts us and the ones that we love.
Oh, self-neglect. That's easy to do in this day and age, isn't it?
Absolutely, we
I
get
find
busy.
that I can sometimes actually neglect myself if I'm working back to back.
Yep,
And it's important to create that space so that we're not neglecting ourselves
yeah.
and having time to recharge so that we can actually offer more later on.
Now I wonder, is there a generational gap? Do we have generations that are thinking a little bit more about self-care these days, and one's like, my parents' age, for example, without offending anybody,
Yeah.
that are, maybe the baby boomers' age, and I don't mean that like a generalization. I mean, is that generation not necessarily used to self-care?
I think that is a common theme. So I think self-care has been a recent introduction into our society in the Western world.
Right. And this is the thing. And so maybe with the information age, have we got that information, that knowledge, that consciousness to start thinking a little bit more consciously about our care for self proactively rather than going to look at the medical world or getting help after a
After all the
diagnosis or
damage has been
sickness.
done. So, for
Yeah.
example, in my parents' generation, Bass, I find it really different and
Yep.
difficult to sometimes manage the limiting beliefs and the disvalue of oneself.
Mm.
So it comes with my culture as well, the overeating
Mm.
and the over sitting around not being proactive or physically active.
Well, eating's an interesting one, but it's a typical one because for a lot of cultures, including mine, they've basically used it to give affection. So you have a wedding, you got to eat.
Yes,
You have a problem,
manja.
you got to eat. Somebody dies, you got to eat.
And you eat a lot, and at
That's
all
right.
hours of the day and night, and
Yeah.
in copious amounts. And if you don't eat what's given to you, it's actually classified a bit rude.
Yes, exactly.
And it's an offence.
I remember the pressure. My wife's from a
Your
completely
stomach
different
exploding.
culture. Yeah, and she'd come in, and my mum would be like putting all these different spreads of food
And
on
if
the
you
table.
don't, it's
and
considered
eat,
like a
eat.
disrespect.
Exactly. But, thankfully my wife didn't buy into it. She was like, nah, not interested. I'm not hungry. Thank you. If I was hungry, I'd eat.
Yeah.
But it does create that separation because they think that this is how we reward.
Yeah.
And so are you relating to this? Are you resonating to this? And
I
do
know
you...
I certainly am. And then
So
it's
am I.
the health repercussions of that.
Yeah.
In my mum's generation and my dad's generation, and I don't want to, have this manifest in my life, and I'll do whatever it takes not to, but everyone's got high blood pressure, and everyone's got arthritis, and everyone's got cholesterol problems, and everyone's got a bit of diabetes, and a bit of obesity, and it's
I know what you
frustrating.
mean. Yeah. Well,
I'm not perfect, but it's just frustrating
Yeah.
because I know that a lot of these ailments are self-inflicted.
Absolutely. And again, like information age, it's a new thing of this generation where we used to have only like a dozen or dozens of diseases. We've now got thousands of different
Yeah.
diseases that are self-inflicted mainly.
Self-inflicted, absolutely.
So we're sort of just painting the landscape here. But I want to say, if you're someone that's resonating with this, whether you are the parent, that generation that's kind of neglected self because you care and love everybody else and you put yourself last, it's time for you to take ownership of yourself and your health. And if you're the child of that product, like us, it's time for you to take care of yourself as well and not take on the
Yeah.
responsibility,
Yeah.
the burdens, the
guilt.
the guilt,
A lot of guilt
all
for me.
those painful things, the shame,
Yeah.
how can I have a happy life if my
Feeling
parents are suffering?
responsible.
Yeah,
Feeling like somehow
Over.
you've got to fix it.
overly
You
responsible.
can't.
You've
They've
got
got to do the work.
exactly, and you've got to allocate responsibility for where responsibility fits for you and for them. So that opens up a
Yeah.
whole new kettle of fish for,
Yeah.
for further topics. But the idea is understanding where your responsibility begins and ends, and where your parents' responsibility begins and ends for their
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah, and having some boundaries with that.
Yeah, and not taking on that guilt and shame because it's not going to help your parent. It's not going to make them better. It's just going to hold you back.
That's
and
right.
I
And
know,
you can't make them do the work.
I know from experience. I've done that, and
Me too.
I tried to teach them.
I'm doing it.
I tried to help
With
them
boundaries
so much.
now, I'm doing it.
Yeah, and it ruined our relationship just about, right?
Yeah.
So it's about letting go and knowing your parent will always be your parent. You don't have just this lifetime to resolve things with them. You've got for eternity.
Yeah.
So, but, allow with love for them to be themselves and give them that space and that love for them to take responsibility and ownership, or else you become an enabler
Yeah.
for them to stay stuck where they're
They
at.
have to step up. They have to make some serious life changes.
Yeah. And so as you do that, I want you to feel into how that might make you happy, how that might make you lighter, not carrying so much of the burdens and the sadness and the problems. The next generations are much easier with it. Like your
I
daughter.
hope so.
Yeah, she could tell them basically, hey, you know, it's your
She's
thing.
already done
fix
that.
it,
She's
right?
drawn her line in the sand.
And my son, which I've got right here, right? He's cheeky and he knows when to tell me, hey, it's your responsibility, it's your thing. Even if I'm giving him too much love and too much affection, he just says, hey, and he draws a line. So here he is, he's very playful. And it reminds us to stay young, stay healthy, stay playful.
Active.
And stay
healthy.
grateful.
Eat what's good for you. Check in with your body. Do you know what I do recently? I actually do some kinesiology before I consume something.
Perfect.
So today I'm at the shops and I'm like, does my body want coconut water? Does it want orange juice or does it want a tropical juice? And I went with the tropical juice, even though I would have originally gone for, say, the coconut water.
Perfect. I love it. So we're going to wrap here because Alexander's very playful, my little one. And I just want to say that if you want more information on this topic and you resonate with this, you can connect with Nez. She is from, tell them a little bit about how they can connect with you, Nez.
Just online, Zen Life Counseling. And if this is on my Instagram, just message me. I'm more than happy to do work with more people and connect with you all.
Perfect. And that sounds amazing. She's absolutely amazing. Or
And so are you.
Thank you. You can connect with me. You can find me, bastadros.com. And I'd love to help you and work with you through hypnotherapy or through coaching on this. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Big love.